Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the Canadian Channel Partners Conference 2022. I'm Cindy Edwards from PR Media Now. As business owners, you all know how critical it is to have reliable IT. A bad or slow connection can mean the difference between business success or failure. RabbitRun Technologies provides reliable business communication for small office and home office remote workers. And today we're meeting the newest member of their team, Sam Kline. Sam is a senior telecom executive with an entrepreneurial outlook on markets and technology. Sam Kline, welcome to the show.
Hi, Cindy. Thank you. It's great to be.
It's good to have you with us. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I have, for the last, having our 20th anniversary, actually, been working at Granite Telecommunications, where I'm a senior vice president and strategic advisor. And Granite's kind of interesting, actually, because we will now be pushing up against 2 billion sales this year. And I call it a good 2 billion because we have no debt, no outside investors, and we're quite profitable. And that's going from zero. So most recently, again, with Granite, I was thinking about it though, before then, and Canada brought this to mind. Before then, for lack of a better word, I had the opportunity to walk with giants. I spent some time at a research project at MIT called Project Athena, and Athena was a project that was originally designed to lay out the future of networking when the internet was in its infancy. Nobody really understood what the whole thing was. For example, one of the guys on our team, for those of you who, by the way, who are geeks, there is something in the internet called the 7-layer OSI model that is kind of the architecture for the whole internet. And the internet OSI model is based on a famous paper that was written called the Day-Zimmerman paper. And John Day was part of our team. The guy who actually did, there's a lot of people that take claim for, being the fathers of the internet, but he actually did the architecture. And I can remember sitting with John Day and arguing about things at MIT, like John had an IP address, an internet address of, I think it was 1,200 or something. There was only 1,200 computers on the whole internet. And I can remember arguing about how many internet addresses we should have. And they came up with a number of 4 billion, thinking they would never, ever use that many. And those of you who are in the business know we ran out a while ago. IPv4 went away. We had to come up with a whole new scheme, something called IPv6, just because even then, even the giants had no clue how big of a deal it was going to be. And after MIT, I went to work for a guy in Canada, some of you may have heard of, Ted Rogers. And I can remember being at, Ted Rogers had a place north of Canada on the lake up there in Muskoka. And we were at his lake house, and Ted owned both a wireless company, at the time it was Cantel, and a cable company. And I can remember saying, Ted, we can't afford to build out both of them. We have to decide which one we're going to go for. And he looked at me and said, don't be silly, we're going to go for it. And he bet the whole company. I mean, he bet billions of dollars. And this was a guy who was a billionaire. He bet everything. And I was so impressed to see a real giant at work. And most recently, I work with Rob Hale at Granite. And Rob is an amazing person. He's a salesman. And he focuses on two things. He worries about sales and customer satisfaction. And his view is, if you have a good product and you can sell it and have customers who are happy, everything else will take care of itself. And there was recently a study came out. I think he's in the top few hundred richest people in America now. So he was right. So I had the opportunity to watch giants at work, both from a technology point of view and a business point of view. So it's an answer to your question, kind of a unique background.
Well, Sam, I would call you one of those giants as well. Definitely. Can you believe where we are now? Tell us about some of the great wins that you've had, as well as some of your other big accomplishments.
Well, there's a couple of recent ones. Um, I went to Rob Hale a while ago, and the U.S. government had said they were going to have a contract where they awarded all of their telecommunications services to a small group of players. And if you weren't one of them, you couldn't bid. And we had granted, we were a billion-dollar company, but in comparison to Verizon and AT&T and those guys, we were tiny. And we did very little government business. And I went to Rob and said, hey, Rob, I want to bid on this contract, EIS. And I said, I want to bid on EIS. It's going to cost a lot of money, and it's a long shot. And he looked up from what he was doing, and he said, yeah, go for it. Send me a text when you win. And he forgot what he was doing. And sure enough, we were one of the EIS winners. And we are in the process now of working on all of those contracts. The sum total of them, and we obviously won't win them all, will be $50 billion.
Whew. Wow.
So that was one win. Another one just recently, by the way, we did a press release just recently. Arguably, Verizon has one of the best wireless networks in the United States. And arguably, again, Granite is probably one of the best sales machines in the United States. And we recently signed a contract to work together. And anytime you see a structure where one of the best networks is now teamed with one of the best sales machines, it's just a recipe for success. So
Definitely.
those two recent things.
Well, congratulations on those. My goodness, a tip of my hat to you, sir. Now, you have just joined RabbitRun's board and are a strategic advisor to the company. And I know they're really excited to announce you here at the show. And I am very familiar with RabbitRun and their SD-WAN. So tell us what you look for in a company before you decide to invest your time in it.
Well, I'm an engineer. I've got, 5 patents, and I'm not a bad engineer. But Pat Zavada, the CTO at RabbitRun, I'm not even in his league. This guy is really, really good. And my ego is such that I hate to admit that somebody is that much better than me, but it's true. He is just amazing. And by amazing, I mean, most technologists believe that when they build something, somehow success is making it wildly complicated. He makes it simple. And the last time I saw really anybody who focused on making their products simple and usable was probably the early days of Apple. And Pat is from that school. He builds products, but they're simple and usable. It's just wonderful, and you don't see that much anymore. And then the other piece was their CEO, Eric Hernandez. He focused on things that are just so obvious that it amazes me that everybody doesn't focus on them. Things like he has almost no contract for their service. His view is complicated 30-page contracts are just an impediment to sales. If you're really as good as you say you are, why do you need a contract?
Good point.
And it's just that kind of thinking is so attractive to me just from my history, that I was just thrilled with the opportunity to work with them.
And from a channel business perspective, what is it that impresses you about RabbitRun?
Well, if you think about the channels, the whole channel segment, all right, um, they're in a space where there is this wonderful green fields opportunity, a brand new opportunity, and not many of them happen anymore. And what that opportunity is, some gigantic segment of the population is going to be working from home. They're just not going to go to the office, maybe 2 days a week, maybe 3 days a week, maybe 4 days a week, but they're going to be working from home. So if you have a home office product that is simple and easy to use, it is the kind of thing that the channels guys love. And not only that, it's designed, I have an affinity for what I call MRC products, monthly recurring charge products, products where you sell them and you get a monthly payment from customers. So they have a really economically priced MRC product that's easy to use at a time when the market for home and small business is just exploding. It seems to me that you'd have a hard time finding a better series of events to come together all at once.
Yeah, the timing is absolutely perfect. You previously stated that SD-WAN is at the heart of all future telecommunications solutions. So let's dive a little deeper into that. As someone who has such a proven track record of getting companies on the right track, why is SD-WAN the magic bullet?
You know, it comes down to, if you think about it, what SD-WAN really provides you is the ability to have a network that is smart enough to handle your needs for a small business or for your home, and do things like, if you're using your primary link as cable and the cable goes down for some reason, it'll fail over to the wireless link in a second or less. So if you are that person working from home, and your link goes down, within a second, you're back at work. That's just a phenomenal capability. So I think that that ability alone, when combined with, it's important to remember that we in our business are SD-WAN people. That's what we do. Our customers are not SD-WAN people. They don't want to be SD-WAN people. They want to put the box in and have it work. As a matter of fact, if our customers have to become SD-WAN experts, we have screwed up somewhere. They shouldn't have to. So the idea of a box that you can plug in and is just going to sit there and come up and work is ideal for us. Did that answer your question?
Yes, and as somebody who's not a SD-WAN person, that's music to my ears. Thank you. What are some of the things MSPs in the audience can be thinking about moving forward post-pandemic into 2023 and beyond?
Well, I think, and that goes back a lot to, I believe that as the pandemic winds down, a lot of people are going to be figuring out, and frankly, I sat on a committee at Granite where we talked about how we were going to manage people working from home. And the assumption was they were going to be working from home. The question was, how many days and who and how do we do it? And I think most companies are going to be in that same, same decision process. So if you are in our space, the opportunity is, and there's two ways you could do this. You could sell to every single person who works from home, or you could sell to the company who has all of their people working from home and say, hey, we'll give you this box. All right, take this box, put it in your site, and you are easily up to speed almost immediately, and it's really cost effective. And by the way, the contracts aren't a problem. I think that opportunity are just gigantic. So there is that whole segment. A second segment to think about is copper's going away. Those old copper lines are going away. They just are. You know, AT&T has announced at least twice now that they're getting rid of theirs, and they keep moving the date out. But it is going to happen. And the reason it's going to happen is they're just too expensive to maintain. It's just economics are going to force. And I think there's around, I don't know the number, it's around 25 million copper lines still, big copper business lines still in the United States, and probably 3 or 4 million in Canada, all of which will be moving to another solution in the very near future. So the companies that position themselves for that market will be well positioned for the future. So there's the post-COVID home market, copper retirement, the ability to have a solution. I think, as I mentioned, the ability to have a solution that has automatic failover will be critical. There's a lot of opportunity out here. It's just wonderful right now.
Final question. How do you hope to impact RabbitRun? What do you want to help them accomplish?
You know, the other, a couple of things. One is I think they are you don't see many opportunities that are the company that you go, well, that's going to be the next leader in our industry. So for me, this is an opportunity to get in on the ground floor and help them with how do we go about capturing that home office business? How do we go about capturing that copper replacement business? Those are just wonderful opportunities, and I just am you know, I'm that guy that wakes up at 3 a.m. and goes, yeah. You know, elevator lines. We've got to think about elevator lines. How do we handle those? Which I guess is depressing. But anyhow, I'm that guy that wakes up thinking about those kind of things. And I think those are the opportunities that we can have. And I'm just so looking forward to working with Pat and the guys to make those happen.
And are you one of those guys that's working predominantly from home now, or are you dividing your time between going to an office, or are you doing it all from home?
I would prefer to do it all from home. I actually, at my age, I spent a bunch of time. I have a place in Florida. I spent a bunch of time down there, but I'm also a bit of a workaholic, so I can't help myself, even when I say I'm going to work from home, to check my email, write that email, get in on that call. So yeah, I'm one of those guys who is unfortunately trying to work more from home, but I'm a workaholic.
Well, that's good news for RabbitRun, and good news for you too. It's obviously keeping you young and spry and together. And just, can you believe what you've seen happen in your lifetime so far? It's amazing.
Shocks me. And I was, you know, as I said, it was literally there at the beginning, and it shocks me even now. You know, and frankly, the guys who claimed that they knew, we had no idea. We thought, we literally believed that they would never use up 4 billion IP addresses. And they just blew right by that. Nobody had any idea. And I was there. Believe me, it's true.
Good for you. Sam Kline, thank you so much from RabbitRun Technologies. Appreciate your time. To find out more, you can go to rabbit.run. You can contact Sam by email, sam@rabbit.run. And you can also follow RabbitRun on LinkedIn and Twitter. Sam, have a great day, and thank you again for joining us.
Cindy, it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone who tuned in as well. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.